Hey, good Thursday morning, my friends. MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa with the MLive Morning Weather Update. In the short term, I don't see anything that's a really big snowstorm, but in the long term, we see several chances at snow, a couple of lake effects, and maybe later on, I definitely feel like the last 10 days of January look like we're going into kind of a stormy spell with storms heading our way and on the cold side of those for the most part and into the snow. So we will get into that. It's a cold start this morning. A lot of us are down near zero, so I thought I would just start off with a little bit of text. And here you see the temperatures this morning. Ann Arbor, 2 degrees. Carroll's dropped to 4 below. If you get any clouds, you stay up around 10 or 12. That's not real thrilling, though, either, is it? And the wind chills are running about, the winds are pretty light, so the wind chills are running about the temperature of just a couple of degrees lower. Lapeer's down to 3 below this morning. Midland's down to 2 below, while the Tri-Cities, that's Saginaw, Bay City, Flint Airport. I'm sorry, not Saginaw, Bay City, Flint. Saginaw, Bay City, Midland Airport around Freeland. That's at 4 degrees right now. Flint's at 2. And you get to the southwest side of the state, you have the lake effect clouds. Grand Rapids 12, Kalamazoo 15, Muskegon 18, and South Haven 19. And then you go northward, Traverse City, the lake effect clouds 13 degrees, but Gaylord, heavy snow on the ground, 7 degrees below zero. So temperatures do vary quite a bit. Here's a good visual on it with current temperatures. And you can see the widespread area of below zero temperatures in northeast, lower Michigan, and you only see the little patch of warmer air on the clouds that come off the southwest end of southeast part of Lake Michigan down into the Kalamazoo area. Radar this morning is pretty quiet. So, I'm not going to say roads are perfect, but whatever road was dry before is now going to be continued to be dry. As no significant weather for today. All right, so now I get real technical on you, don't I? No, I don't. I just show you the way weather is, and weather isn't always like an exact picture. We have to look at maps. So what we're going to look at is the upper airflow. We're going to look at these bends in the jet stream that come through. That's a storm system. We're also going to see a piece of the polar vortex, essentially, dumbbelling down into the Great Lakes region over the next week. So that's what keeps us entrenched in the cold air. Then we'll eventually see how we back to a southwesterly flow, and that's when I think the weather fun begins for a lot of us. Okay, so what you're seeing is the wind flow at around 15,000 feet up, what we would call the mid-level of the atmosphere. Let's say this is a highway map, when you say, I don't want to see all the little streets, I just want to see the state highways and the interstates. That's kind of the analogy to this for us in meteorology. So this bend in the jet stream, that's a cold front in our region for Friday, and it's a significant major storm in the south, and some of that moisture is going to leak up into the southern part of the state for a 1 to 2 inch snow. I'll show that to you in just a second. Hey, good morning, Susie Kubiak. Thanks for watching the MLive Morning Weather Update. Helen Stanginger, good morning to you. And Vicky Ball, yeah, it's cold in Caro. Dave Ferrio, how's the ice fishing going out there? Do you see a lot of cars parked at the end of the roads there yet? It's still probably kind of iffy in places, so be careful. All right, so now Sunday into Monday, we have an Alberta clipper, and there's that lobe of the polar vortex, dipping down just to our northeast and into the northeast part of the U.S. That's a cold pattern for us. And then the next storm system by the following weekend comes out of the north. That's a cold pattern for us too. And by the time we get to the 20th, you start to see this southwest flow with us on the north side of the jet stream. The jet stream there would run from California across Arizona, New Mexico, into the southern plains, into Kentucky and Tennessee. So we're on the north side, the cold side of the jet stream. That's the snowstorm side. Now we're out to January 23rd. We don't necessarily believe it, but there's a storm out there, and so that's why I say last 10 days of January is when I think we get our first, for Michigan, widespread snowstorm. I don't have any more details than that. It's way too early out, but I'm just looking at what we call pattern recognition, upper air pattern recognition, and you'll kind of see it, maybe, if I didn't just close it down. Hold on, give me a second. No mail delivery today? Leslie Stark, really? What is that all about? Bear with me just a second here. I accidentally closed down. Okay, so we're back. So this is your surface weather forecast. So I've talked about Friday. This is Friday afternoon into early evening, and there's a light snow across Michigan. The heaviest of the light snow will be in the south central and southeast. I'll show that closer in a sec. And then it moves off to the east. And there's your snowstorm down in the south. Arkansas going to get really thumped. Maybe some spots get a foot of snow in southern Arkansas. And then it comes across Tennessee, Kentucky, North Georgia, North Alabama, North Mississippi on Friday. That's why I said you do not want to be driving south tomorrow. Saturday it moves off, but the cold air entrenched, so the roads won't improve dramatically. And then maybe by Sunday they do, with temperatures coming close to freezing. There's our Alberta Clipper on Sunday. And then as it comes through, behind it, another shot of cold air. So there's no flip-flop to anything of winter relaxing anywhere in here. We're out to next Friday and Saturday, another storm system, another shot of cold air. And way too far out to believe, but here is, one storm system around January 21st and another larger one around 24th. That's why I think somewhere in that week, 20th to 27th, we start to get in on some action. All right. Oh, sorry. Is it Friday yet? Okay. So here's our a little bit closer look. There's Friday afternoon. And it's, oh, okay. Thank you. Yes. Gotcha. About the no mail delivery today. I understand now. President Carter's, someone used that word. I don't know what that means, but all right. So Sunday and then Monday, it's windy and cold, and Tuesday, the Arctic air is in here in Michigan. And we're real special. We got snow showers everywhere and wind and cold. Here's total snowfall. Today, little if any, maybe an inch. Friday, 1 or 2 inches. Saginaw, Flint, the Thumb, Ann Arbor, Detroit area, Jackson, Lansing. And then next week we add on some lake effect. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and that gets the western third of the state, the shoreline counties, up to 6 to 10 inches over the course of the next week or so. Heck, let's have some fun. Let's run it out to the end. Let's be irresponsible. 16 days out, total snowfall. Deterministic mode of the Europeans, so we don't necessarily believe it, but seeing 6 to 12 inches of snow in a 16-day period in the last part of January is actually about normal, the 30-year normal on that. It would take a bigger snowstorm to make it abnormal. All right, so now we look at the Europeans' upper airflow, same 15,000 feet, ensemble mode, just to see if we see any sort of weather pattern change. There's your polar vortex. There's your cold shot for early next week. See this little bit of ridge building for a few days. Might get us back to about 30 next week. And then January 20th and out to the 24th, we see still a cold flow. We see kind of a backing up of the long wave trough, and we see the possibility of going into a southwesterly wet and white flow. Low temperatures. These are the low temperatures. After today, it won't be too cold until we get to the Arctic blast after the Alberta Clipper. So this is Saturday morning in the teens to near 20. This is Sunday morning, 20. This is Monday morning in the 20s. This is Tuesday morning, back down into the teens. This is Wednesday morning. Very cold air flirting with us to the west, but we're still in the banana belt. This is Thursday morning, single digits. So we're pretty cold, and you know, the story on this model is a storm system sometime around the 20th, and then another surge of Arctic air. And you can see each time to our west in Wisconsin, Minnesota, the Arctic air is 5 degrees colder, and each time here in Michigan, it's 5 degrees colder too. And that should be a pretty reliable formula, so to speak, I would say, as we get into the next couple of weeks, and each cold air mass will probably be a little bit colder than the last, and it'll have more opportunity to come into lower Michigan because Lake Michigan, the biggest buffer of our weather from the west, will be cooling down, and it'll allow some of that cold air to come in. So today, no travel problems. Tomorrow, you got an inch or two in the afternoon, especially in the southeast, south central part of the state, so you can make slick roads. Saturday, no precipitation. And then Sunday, we get that Alberta Clipper. The track is north, so the southern part of the state really won't get a whole lot until we get into the lake effect, and then it's the scattered showers. Hey, there's a complete weather update for you. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update, and we'll see you back here one more time this week tomorrow. Bye.